Okay, can you see blood or bone? I've been lifting weights now for about 30 years. It's scary to say that out loud. For 30 years, I've been consistently going to the gym and lifting weights. My goals were to always get bigger and stronger. That's it. 30 years of doing that puts a toll on your body. Not something you tend to think about when you're a kid, you start lifting weights. Back in 2015, I had a pretty serious weightlifting injury. I tore my tricep completely off the bone bench pressing. For a few months before this incident happened, I had been experiencing a lot of pain in that elbow. No pain, no gain, right? So I kept pushing through it. I'm stubborn. I think we all are, right? Any weightlifter is going to most likely push through the pain and just keep going. And that was me. Push through the pain, kept going. Pop some ibuprofen, keep going. Eventually, that came to hurt me pretty bad in the form of a massive tricep rupture. When it happened on the bench press, I honestly thought I might have blown out my elbow. Like broken bone, shattered toast. That's how it felt. It felt like glass shattering in my arm. I'd never experienced that before. I sat up on the bench after my spotter, thank God for him. He saved my life, essentially, because if it wasn't for him, that weight might have crushed me. I sat up on the bench, and a buddy of mine was sitting across from me. I think he was on either the low row or the pull-up machine, just kind of sitting watching to see if I was going to make this attempt. And when I sat up on the bench, I'll never forget, his jaw just like dropped. He was like, I actually asked him, I said, okay, can you see blood or bone? And he said, I said, okay, that's good. So then I realized what most likely happened was I tore my tricep. My arm immediately blew up to like the size of a cantaloupe. It was crazy. Looked kind of cool. If both my arms were the size of cantaloupes, that'd be awesome. Long story short, I get diagnosed. I go out for surgery. I'm told by my surgeon I need to take at least 4 months off until I can lift again at what he called max capacity. What max capacity meant to me and to him was full potential, as much as you want, push as hard as you can, max capacity. I had to take 4 months off and just wait. What other choice did I have? I did some research on unilateral training. It didn't sit quite right with me. I know people have had success with it. I was apprehensive about trying that. I could have stayed in the gym and did lower body. Probably should have in retrospect. Really what kept me away from doing any of those things was I didn't want the negative comments from people because I knew I was going to lose massive size from not lifting for 4 months. I thought that it was also a pertinent time to come off all supplementation, kind of clean up my system, come off anything I was on, and just kind of reset. Why not? I couldn't lift, right? So I was going to lose muscle anyway. I might as well go all in and reset my body. While I was recovering, I had all this downtime because now I wasn't training 5 days a week for between an hour and a half a day. I decided to make it a goal to stay occupied still with weightlifting and bodybuilding and powerlifting things. And by things, what I mean is I started to go down the YouTube rabbit hole for really the first time in my life of bodybuilding and powerlifting, strength training, dieting, meal prep, all those things to kind of keep my mind in that headspace of still putting in some sort of work to my gym routine. I was still accomplishing something, but in this case, instead of physically accomplishing it, I was accomplishing it in terms of knowledge. And I had never really gone into depths like these to research meal prep, powerlifting techniques, bodybuilders. But through those 4 months, I found some things I really decided I liked. I liked to watch and learn about bodybuilding. I didn't want to be a bodybuilder, but I enjoyed learning about it and watching how these guys compete, what they go through to get to where they want to get. I really enjoyed the meal prep part of it. I was meal prepping beforehand, but not to the degree that I did after my 4 months off from the gym. I feel like if I didn't occupy my mind with something to supplement the gym that was still gym related, I might have had a much more difficult time coming back from that injury, returning from that setback. And I made it a mental focus to stay focused on what I loved to do, even though I couldn't do it. So then came the really difficult part of my 4 months are up. I can lift again. So now what? At that point, I lost almost 20 pounds from not lifting and coming off supplementation. I was deathly afraid of going back to the gym and hearing what people might say about me. I've never experienced like true negativity in the gym. And when I returned, even though I looked very different, nobody said anything negatively towards me. They were really supportive. They're like, let's get at it. Come on, let's go. You're back. Glad you're here. Now let's get at it again. That support system that gyms offer you and friendships or even just gym acquaintances offer you is so important. And I was very fortunate to have that. And I think a lot of you probably have that too. You might not even realize it. I don't think I realized it either until I went back to the gym after 4 months off. But it was there and I welcomed it because it really helped me to get back to where I wanted to go. So after 4 months off, I created a plan for myself of how I wanted to tackle my return. I even have a YouTube playlist I titled Comeback. It was music that would get me re-energized to do what I had to do to start from scratch again. It can be very difficult to come back from an injury knowing that you won't be as strong, you won't be as big, and starting from that mental headspace. It was hard for me. You have to face that fear and get past it. You have to realize that all your hard work in the past didn't just disappear. All the strides you made in building your body didn't just go away. They kind of went to sleep for a little bit. And now it's up to you to wake them up. And it might take a few weeks. It might take a few months, but they'll wake up. And most likely, they'll come back even better. And that's what happened to me. It took a few months, but after maybe 3 or 4 months, I put my size back on, regained all my strength, and I was probably a little bit ahead of where I was when I got injured. The reasons for that, I truly believe, are having a strong mental focus. When I wasn't at the gym, I was still doing gym things. I was watching videos. I was learning about meal prep, bodybuilding, powerlifting, weight training, techniques. Then as those 4 months went on, I was planning. This is my attack when I get back to the gym. This is week 1. This is week 2. This is week 3. This is week 4. These are my sets. These are my weights. This is how incrementally I plan on moving up and then back ultimately to where I was. I was also mentally dealing with, when I went back to the gym, would I face any haters? What would that look like? How do I respond to that? How do I stay positive? How do I stay courteous and respectful to people, no matter what's said to me? You have to have that mindset of moving forward. You have to have that mindset of achieving progress. Progress can be small, it can be big. As long as the progress is incremental and moving in the forward direction, you will get to where you want to go. But you have to stay mentally focused on that end game. And you have to remember, if you take more time off from the gym because you get beaten down with your lack of results, it's going to take you that much longer to achieve your goal. Injuries heal, both physical and mental. Time and patience will heal them. It's really just a question of how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do to get to where you want to be? I did it. It wasn't easy. I know you guys can do it too. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Talk to you guys soon.